You can find us interesting music there that's cleared for use on podcasts if we want to have any fun.
Oh, believe me, I've got that covered.
Okay.
Nice.
And send me that link though, because I'm looking for other things. Oh, we're recording. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Well, I think we're going to practice our little intro here first.
Okay.
With, Al, you get to lead us off.
All right. So goal sounds. Put yourself on a ship. Okay. Ready? Here we go. What was that? Okay, ready? 15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle
Well,
of...
hold on. I'm not comfortable with those lyrics, Al. Please stop singing.
Fine. But, okay. How about blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. Way, hey, blow the man...
Definitely not comfortable with those lyrics, Al.
Well, we're here sailing on a ship off the coast of Vancouver Island because Chad took an online course in captain in a ship. So we gotta sing some shanties and talk like pirates.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. Look, it wasn't so much an online course as it was a BuzzFeed quiz about what old-timey job I would have had, and it said I'd be a sea captain, so, here we are.
Uh-oh.
So
yeah. Chad, you don't actually know what you're doing.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that. I have read a lot of books about Paul's missionary journeys, and they all worked out, so what's the worst that could happen?
Agreed. It's a nice place to record the podcast anyway.
Uh-oh!
What?
What?
Those clouds don't look good.
That was convincing.
Neither do those rocks.
Let's try that line again, Chad.
Those
Clouds. Those are scary clouds.
Right,
I am
sorry.
afraid.
All right, I'll channel my inner Kirk.
Yeah. Yes, I put not nearly enough periods. Those clouds don't look good.
Those clouds don't look good. Neither do those rocks.
Oh no, Chad! What do we do?
I don't know. Hurry up! Move the thing.
What thing?
Not that thing. The other thing.
What
Move
thing?
it.
What thing?
What?
Too late!
Ah! Rocks!
Rocks! Smash, 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 smash.
Crash. Man.
Whew.
You're Mike Levin.
Yar.
Wow, that was a short storm. Are you guys okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Steve's okay, and amazingly, so is our sound equipment. I can't believe this. Wait, what am I in? Oh,
Ew! What is this junk? Gross.
Oh, man. We totally fell into Steve's oil spill. Yuck. This can't be good for our health.
No. Let's just climb aboard that piece of ship and scrape some of it off and wait to be rescued. May as well record the episode anyway. Yeah, okay, that was going to be my next question. Do we want to do that before? And that's a good idea. Okay, let's do that.
I think it's before. I think I love it when the example times we've done this and then have the music right afterwards. I think it's just like a transition.
All right, we ready? That was a good practice. Let's do it. Are we? Steve, why don't you give us our intro, and then we'll go into our second take.
The captain is
take.
ready.
Well, if you're watching this, you're watching our behind-the-scenes recording of our podcast. We're glad you're watching, and if you want the full, edited, and shorter audio version, visit www.carnivoretheology.com.
Ready? 15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of...
Whoa! I'm not comfortable with those lyrics, Al. Please, stop singing.
Fine. Blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. Way, hey, blow the man down.
I am definitely not comfortable with those lyrics, Al.
Well, we're here sailing off the coast of Vancouver Island because Chad took an online course and captained in a ship. That's why he's talking like Kirk. So we need to sing some shanties and talk like pirates.
All right, here. Let's not get carried away. I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. It wasn't so much of an online course as it was a BuzzFeed quiz about what old-timey job I would have. And it said I'd be a sea captain, so here we are.
Uh-oh.
So you have no idea what you're actually doing.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I've read lots of books about Paul's missionary journeys, and they all worked out, so what's the worst that could happen?
I agree. I mean, honestly, it's a nice place to record the podcast. Let's just do this.
Uh-oh!
What?
What?
Those clouds don't look good! Oh, neither do those rocks!
Oh no! Chad! What do we do?
I don't know! Hurry up! Move the thing!
What thing?
Not that thing, the other thing!
Huh?
Move it!
What?
Oh no!
Too late!
Too late!
Ah!
Rocks!
Ah!
Crash.
Whew. Wow. That was a short storm. You guys okay?
I'm fine. Steve? Yeah, Steve's okay. Amazingly, so's our recording equipment. I can't believe that. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Ew, what is this?
Ew, what is this junk? Gross.
Aw, man. We fell right into that oil spill. Ugh. This cannot be good for our health, gentlemen.
Gross. Yeah, okay. Let's go climb onto that piece of ship over there and just wait to be rescued. Maybe we can scrape some of this off. May as well record the episode anyway.
Yeah.
Let me try that line again. Yeah, let's climb onto that broken piece of ship and just wait to be rescued. May as well record the episode anyway.
Make it so, El.
Engage.
Awesome. Okay.
Bye, Pirate Effects.
All right.
Okay.
Aw, do I have to turn mine off too?
Yes.
There you go. Oh,
No pirates allowed on the podcast.
oh. How do I turn them off?
You got to turn on effects again.
Button again.
The little
There.
sparkly one.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to Carnivore Theology, a podcast that answers questions about the Christian faith to help you grow from milk to meat into wise, skilled, world-changing followers of Jesus Christ.
Well done.
With you, those Pastor Jack Graham, author and pastor Al Degino, and me, your host, Steve Bastian. Today's topic
Is that the first time Steve's got it right?
First time. It's amazing.
And we interrupted him. Ruined the whole thing.
Doing the whole thing.
The topic we're talking about today is how should Christians react to environmental issues? So, guys, I'm not sure if we see this oil slick here. It
See it, feel it, touch it, smell it. Blah.
Smells like money.
Yeah.
it right away makes me think, is this something that as a Christian I should be up in arms and protesting to my government, talking to my friends, saying we need to come and clean this up, or it comes down to, or is my time better served, with other aspects of church and ministry? That's a question I often have: is how much time should I put into, stewardship of God's creation? How much time should I put into trying to help save people?
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so sure that this is really a Christian issue as much as a swimming issue. I think we should be all up in arms as swimmers in this.
No kidding.
Yeah. So,
Well,
what do you think, Al?
To answer a bit of that, I don't think anyone would argue with the fact that humans and their environment are indelibly tied. We can't get away from it. What we do in the world and to the world affects us. It's going to affect us. We breathe the air. We drink the water. We eat the food the land produces. And when we mess with that, we only hurt ourselves. But and that's a really good part of environmentalism, is that I take care of the planet. Now, the other aspect for Christians is the fact that we have a spiritual connection to the environment. God, at the very beginning of creation, connected us on a spiritual level to our environment. If you read Genesis 2 carefully, you'll see that Adam was formed from the ground of a desolate place. Then God took us from that desolate place to a garden that he had planted in the east. Adam was created in one environment and then taken to live in another. Eve was created in the garden environment. God had all set that all up in advance, made the garden fruitful, and then told us to take care of it together. He tied our relationship to him, our relationship to each other, and our relationship to the world, our survival, our worship, our joy, all tied to our environment in his garden. When we fell to sin, the curse not only affected us, but it affected the environment. Adam was taken from the perfect environment, was cast into a land that would be cursed. His work in the God's garden would be a joy. Now the land would be working against him with weeds and drought and floods and ultimately death. And our sin didn't just bring the curse upon our bodies and our souls, but also upon the world. So we're not the only one waiting for Jesus to bring the culmination of the kingdom and to finish it all off. One of the greatest chapters in Scriptures, Romans 8, talks about how the world itself is longing to be reborn, just as we are. Romans 8 actually ties humanity and the environment together at a spiritual level. I'll read a bit of it. It says, "For creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to corruption and obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now, and not only creation, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for the adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies." So God has tied us together with the environment.
Sorry, Steve and I have been busy looking at a very important picture of the Stanley Cup, so we totally missed your last point. If you want to just re-emphasize that.
Okay, I'll just come down to this and say this. God has not taken away our first responsibility to take care of the resource, which is the world he has given us, and we are spiritually tied to it. We still get to use the land for all of its bounty. We still get to worship God and increase human flourishing through our environment. But we get turned around when we think that saving ourselves means fixing our environment. God put us into a garden so that we can be with him and love one another, not just to tend the garden. Some people get that messed up. They think that we can overcome the curse through political action, medical technology, environmentalism, and they think the goal of being on Earth is to preserve the Earth forever, but we can't.
Yes.
The sin of humanity and the curse of God over this world will work against us every step of the way. We need Jesus to fix both. We need him to fix our heart and our soul, and also the earth, to give us a new heavens and a new earth.
So, there's times where I've talked to people, especially out here on the West Coast, that almost seem to worship Mother Earth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Their salvation, their gospel, their way of being saved is through environmentalism. If they can change their environment, they can overcome the curse.
And I think that is an absolutely critical point, and where I would interact with this. I'll give you a summary caption statement. As a Christian, we have an obligation towards stewardship because of what Al spoke about, that we have this relationship to the universe around us. However, that stewardship is expressed in many ways, but primarily it is expressed spiritually. And the environmental movement as a movement today is a direct spiritual opponent to the gospel. It's probably the most important false gospel in the world today. It offers a false hope for the future. It offers a false means of salvation. It offers a false ethical system, and it offers a false view of humanity and a false view of the world. They do get one little bit right, though. The environmental movement argues that man is the root cause of the problem of all environmental issues.
Yeah, exactly.
And as Al already pointed out, there's
original sin. Oh, yeah, we're the problem. Yeah.
And what I would, well, I wanted to interrupt your point on that, but I kind of have a little bit of another angle to go in. But if you want to finish first, what your thought was there, Al?
No, that was it. Our original sin. We agreed
Yeah.
on that matter. Now, how we solve original sin is exactly different.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Guys, I want to interject right here. We started the SpeakPipe aspect of our website, the Q&A, where you can use SpeakPipe, send us a message, and then we will either gather them up and make a special Q&A episode or answer them every once in a while.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. I've seen a little bit of interaction on Facebook. I think we're going to get some great questions.
We will play our very first ever. It just showed up. We're going to play it. I'm so excited.
I'm super excited.
It comes from. It says here. I'm a little confused. It says definitely not Wyatt.
It sounds like a band. I think that might be a band. Maybe this is
definitely not Wyatt. All right. Okay. Definitely not Wyatt. We'd love to hear from you. What do you have to say?
Okay. Here we go.
Hey, you guys are a bunch of hosers. How did that happen?
Guys, we need to get better at pre-screening everything we play here.
Why do we keep falling for this? Man, oh man. Not exactly the kind of thing we were looking for. Well, we know who didn't do it. Put it that way.
Definitely not Wyatt. I want to thank you for your contribution. It turns out that you are entirely right, and it fits exactly what we're talking about today. We are a bunch of hosers. That is, we have failed to do what God has called us to do.
Preach it.
El brought up what we were to do in the garden in Genesis 1 and 2, but I think there's a very specific point there that has to be made, and that directly relates to your question, definitely not Wyatt. The thing is, in Genesis 1:28, God says, "Let us make man uniquely. Let us make man in our own image, in the image of God, that is, and let us give him dominion over all the things in the world." Psalm 8 is a commentary on that verse. Now, as Al pointed out, when we fell, when we rebelled, when we rejected God, when we became
hosers, absolutely
hosers,
the entire universe became hosers with us.
And it was hosed.
And it was all hosed. And it is going down the drain ever since. However, and this is really important, Al pointed out that there's a sense in which we have a hope of redemption, both for us and for the world, but there's a very specific way in which the Bible actually, through biblical theology, ties this all together.
Which theologians call dehosing, I believe.
Which theologians call dehosing. In Genesis 2 and verse 15, we read that God put man into the garden, and the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to, in the ESV says, to work it and to keep it. Those two Hebrew words, translated work it and keep it, in the rest of the Old Testament are used only of the priestly work in the temple. The temple appears to be a recreation of the Garden of Eden, because there is the presence of God. What best qualifies Eden is the presence of God. It's a temple garden. Then the temple is a garden temple. I said it backwards. It's a garden temple, then the temple is a temple garden. And the priests, as they did their priestly work, they tended and kept, or worked and kept, the temple, in the same way that Adam was to work and keep the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden, he was to begin to expand. That is what I believe the whole dominion passage is speaking about when it says, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth." Adam was to fill the earth with the garden, creating an entire global spanning garden temple for the glory and worship of God, when God's image bearers would fill the entire world. So that's what makes this really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Al already told us.
Without question. I mean, you've got... The idea is, I think in modern society, we think that we came up with environmentalism, as in this idea of taking care of the planet was our idea. It's God's idea, okay? It was written into God's law. It was given to us at the very beginning, and then he commands in his law. Like, for example, you've got the year of Jubilee, which is a version of fallowing, which is taking care of the environment. Our worship of God all through the Scripture is tied to the beauty of the environment, the fruitfulness of the environment, and destroying it actually mars the gift that is supposed to reflect God's glory. God uses the environment to bless people. He sends people to the promised land, and that was a giving of a very beautiful, very lush place. He makes the rain to fall on the just and the unjust. He gives harvests and flocks. God blesses us through the environment, and so when we destroy it, that's actually a way of not showing thanksgiving to Him. It's kind of smacking that gift in the face. How we use God's gift in this environmental age, and it's today, especially with all the ways that we can possibly destroy it, really reflects what's going on in our hearts.
Absolutely.
If we're undisciplined and wasteful and destructive and polluting, that's a sign of a messed up heart.
So
if we're disciplined and frugal and careful and loving, well, that's going to show in even how we treat the environment.
can I just ask a question there? As North Americans, our ecological footprint is massive compared to a lot of the world. So how should we consider that in regards to what you guys are talking about? That we show respect to God by taking care of the environment.
Well, I think I want to clarify that because I don't think I quite word it in that way, even though the principle is okay. The thing is, again, Romans chapter 8 pointed it out to us. Part of the hope in which we are saved is ecological restoration. But that is in the service of spiritual restoration. That is, the problems in the world have come because of our spiritual fall, and the problems in this world will only be solved with our spiritual renewal. For example, 2 Peter 3:11-13 says, I'm paraphrasing, that the world is going to be melted and destroyed and then remade by God in the end of time. What this is telling us is that there is no possibility whatsoever of saving this present world, no matter what we do. So it is secondary. However, what God does will save the world. God will wipe out all the mess, recreate the world pristine, and He does that when His sons and daughters have come into glory. So I think what I would say is that there's a balance in Christianity between responsible stewardship and realism. The world is under a curse, which means it is filled with scarcity. The world doesn't give us what we need. God told Adam that he had to work the ground by the sweat of his brow.
It's going to work
against
against
you.
you.
He simply ate.
It's going to work against you.
It's going to work against you. And so as the world works against us, and part of the curse, there's going to be environmental damage. We cannot help it. Deserts are going to expand. We are going to deplete resources as they are here. So it's stewardship is a matter of stewarding what is available. So there's a sense where you want to be reasonable and careful and steward appropriately, but recognizing that is not ever going to be the answer. The world just simply will not turn back into a pristine garden while it's under the curse.
But that doesn't mean that we have the right to go out there and destroy it because God's going to, at some point He's going to fix it, right? As though we're somehow going to bring the apocalypse upon us by destroying our planet quicker.
Well, but again, that a little bit too is sort of taking a bit of a red herring straw man because that, I mean, first of all, we cannot destroy the world no matter what we do. Let me give you a promise of God from Genesis 8:21-22. The Lord said, I'll never again curse the ground because of man, for the thoughts and intentions of his heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever strike down every living creature as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. In Jeremiah chapter 8 and 25, God says He has a covenant with creation by which He preserves it. So if we were to get too out of hand, God would restrain us. There is no possibility of humanity destroying the world. It's pure hysteria. It's garbage. The issue of scarcity means that we are going to run out of resources no matter what we do. The issue of population boom means that we will need resources no matter what we do. We cannot totally ruin it. That doesn't mean you try to ruin it, as Al rightly, justly, and correctly pointed out.
So these
we should never bring up this whole thing. We never want to bring up this whole thing like, we're just going to destroy. Nobody's doing that. Even our industrialists were never trying to do that. Most of them love the environment they're working in. Go and talk to any of the oil people. They'll tell you how much they enjoy and love the nature in which they work. They're just getting the resources out of it. When you have a spill in the harbor like we have here, look all around us at the Coast Guard working away, cleaning it up. They want it clean. So I really hate that whole argument that is being brought up by this thing. There really is no global conspiracy to destroy everything in the world. There are desperate people trying to survive. People in Africa who are poor and starving and want electricity, and the only way they can get it is by harvesting it from the environment. And prigs in the West are saying, let all the Africans die while we enjoy our technology, because they will not get that power because they might harm the environment. Foolish, I say.
You couldn't be more right about that idea of many of the problems that we have in the world that we're blaming on the environment are actually problems that we brought on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of, well, what about food, and what about, well, actually it's because there's a lot of greedy people out there who take it, and we're part of the West. We're part of it, right? Don't destroy the environment because we don't care. Utilize the environment as a resource, because God has given it to us as a gift for us to steward and manage, so we can take care of people. There's a few ways we can mess this up, and I came up with 3 ways that we really mess up the environment.
And just before you give those 3 ways, I like that word. Say it again, what you just said before there. What do
Applesauce.
We do?
I have no idea. I was still on a roll. What?
You said we utilize the resources, stewarding it so that we can provide for everyone. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Which, again, let's and this is the way we screw it up. 1, we worship the environment. Yep. Okay. Now, you're not supposed to worship anything except God, and so paganism is an example of worshiping the environment. Environmentalism can actually be a way to worship the environment. Number 2, neglecting spiritual matters in favor of environmental matters. Okay, so actually worrying so much about the environment that you neglect your own spiritual growth, or for that matter, concerning yourself so much about the environment and using the environment instead of doing things that actually help your spirit and the spirits of others.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Hollywood morality.
Hollywood morality. Number 3, prioritizing caring for creation, as in animals and trees, over caring for humanity.
Yes.
Okay. Now I think of PETA at this point, which would rather see babies die than a kitten. Right? They actually prefer the planet. They actually prefer creation over humanity.
I took the other side of the pendulum last time, but just as a thought reminder on that, part of taking care of people is taking care of creation so that the environments they live in are healthy.
They're indelibly tied. I said that at the very beginning. We're indelibly tied.
But I think the problem is not so much an issue of balance. We want to be in the position of balance, but today's world is radical on the environmental side. It's not balanced. It's not trying to be balanced. It's trying to be radical. So my comments should be understood in light of the fact that I'm speaking in terms of corrective.
I agree with that. Can I ask a practical question here?
Yeah.
So, say I have extra money to decide on what to do, above my normal tithing. Do I give that money to a mission organization or a church, to do good that way, or do I put it into solar panels or something like that for the long term? It's, that's a question that, as a pastor, I know that you benefit from the church receiving money, but at the same time, what does the Bible say about that? When
I have very good
time of
news for you,
prosperity.
Yeah, I have very good news for you.
Good.
Jesus tells us to pay tax to whom taxes are due. And as you know, the government in BC is continuing to levy taxes on all environmental causes, including your fuel. And so you simply won't have any extra money with which to do that because your government will have taken care of it for you.
BC
Actually,
stands for bring cash, right?
Let me say, adding on to what Chad just said, this idea of we have a responsibility to be working with our politicians and to be in politics to be able to make sure that the environment is taken care of so that greedy monopolizers don't come in and destroy everything. We've already seen what happens when you destroy the rainforest and you go in there and you just mow down entire places out of greed. We have a responsibility to be involved in those kind of talks and those discussions. We have a responsibility to make sure that the sin of the world is not encroaching upon the environment. We're supposed to take care of it, and let's stand in the way for that. Now, I would say be careful not to get swept up in the paranoia, the fear, and the worship of environmentalism that says we need to freak out. God's not taking care of the planet anymore. God's left us behind. We need to make sure that we do everything we possibly can to save ourselves. The world's going to end in 100 years if we don't recycle today. If you get swept up in that paranoia, then you are lacking faith. God will take care of this kind of stuff on the long run. But we got to make sure that we're doing it the right way. So where's our answer? Where's our balance? If your question is mission organization or solar panels, I don't think you really have. That's not much of a choice because we have to prioritize spiritual matters and humanity over environmental matters and creation.
And solar panels, it's simple. Steve, let me answer your question with this text that I referenced earlier from 2 Peter.
Okay.
Since all these things are thus to be dissolved, what sort of people ought you to be in lives of holiness and godliness, waiting for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be set on fire and dissolved, and the heavenly bodies will melt as they burn. But according to his promise, we are waiting for new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. I would say if you want solar panels because you think it'll help you to save money long term on your heating bills, which are constantly going up, or you have the cash and it's a fun project for you.
I sure don't have the cash, but is it theoretical?
If it comes down to which is more important when you have to make a values decision, the values decision is easy. But God gives us our money to use for ways that that help the world, that bring dominion, that subdue it, that harness it. You can harness the power of the sun. There's no issue. There's no true conflict there, unless it comes down to a values conflict. Do I value the missionary enterprise or the environmental enterprise more? It's a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah.
Hey guys, do you see the boat over there? Hey.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Let's wait.
Oh man,
Guys.
finally.
Hey.
Hey, over here.
Thankful. Oh, great that you guys saw us. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have palm olive. I've heard it's good to get the soil off.
Please, Purell, as much as you possibly have.
Steve, you climb up first. You've been kind of hanging with your legs in the water here.
Yeah.
Elle and I have been drier.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that.
No worries. We're here for you, buddy. We got your back.
Yeah.
Okay. There goes. Okay, Steve's going up the ladder. That's good. Chad.
Yeah, let's. Hey, how's it looking, Steve? Let's get up there, man.
Chad.
Yeah?
Chad. Look at the front of the bow. Do you see? It's the SS Bloodbath.
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 That's a weird name for a ship.
And I further inspect the fact that if you look up there, you see that black flag
With the skull and bones.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is a bad idea.
I said that I wasn't going to swim this, so why don't we just swim this, okay?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey guys,
Okay,
they got peg
Steve,
legs up here.
See ya!
Hey,
Bye,
where are you
Steve.
going?
Bye!
Come on back. Hey,
Leave him behind!
why do they have sharp knives?
Hi, guys. No, do that. Hi, guys.
Hi or bye?
Hi, as in you're turning around on the pirate ship and you're looking at them and saying, "Hi guys, nice pirate legs," or "Hi guys, nice wooden legs," or something like that.
Oh, no, you are a woodworker. Tell them you can help them with their legs.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Nice peg legs. I turn wood. I could probably make you a few.
That's it. That's awesome.
Out of the park.
I get to play naive. It's
But not
natural.
stupid.
We have one viewer. You just
Hi,
missed
Mom.
the entire thing. We're done now. Steve's going to close us off, and then I'm going to go edit this thing.
Okay, this has been Carnivore Theology with Chad, Al, and Steve. Thank you for listening today as we discuss environmental impacts and reactions for Christians. To find out more about carnivore theology, or if you have any topics or questions you want to have us cover in upcoming episodes, let us know by visiting www.carnivoretheology.com or leaving a message on our SpeakPipe page, speakpipe.com/carnivoretheology. If you like what we're doing, like us on Facebook, rate and subscribe to us on iTunes, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, or even better, recommend us to your friends. We encourage you to connect with your local biblical church and keep your eyes on the cross.
All right.
Hell, I just realized something. We're a bunch of hosers, eh? Why don't we turn our hoses on those pirates and rescue Steve?
No, leave him behind.
Good point. Could be dangerous. Let's go.